Alright, there we go. Seems like we're live. There we go. Hey there. I have no recollection of where we left off, but I'm sure it will come back to me. This line on the screen doesn't really do it. Maybe we can have a quick look. If this has escalated to a point where people are getting injured, I guess I've got to do something about it. My murmur melts into the silence without a response. Okay. Alright. Okay, let's see where that's going. So, at least that's what I thought, but... A reply comes to me in the early hours of the next day. And it comes from none other than beaming Nerine Komikado, to whom I've just relayed the info about the shapeshifter of the dorms. She's so excited about it. She admitted it so nonchalantly. Like, yeah, I wandered to the dorms, was it? Or... yeah. I wandered all around the dorms in the middle of the night. It's alright, Bear. Maybe I should have made like a more notable announcement with when streams would be back. Hey, yeah, how are you? I appreciate you both for being there. It's all good. I'm secretly amused by Neri's uncharacteristic fervor, however... It worries me to think of her wandering around in the dark and hurting herself. Oh, she's so excited! I let out a deep internal sigh. Sure, make it about the council. Although I know that she's just trying to justify it. There it is. Going along with these 7 mysteries shenanigans is one way of doing that, but it also means I'll have to put the cake making and scarf knitting I'm doing for her on hold. Wouldn't that be a case of me getting my priorities backwards? I hesitate, unsure what answer I should offer my excited friend. In the end. Although I tried to weigh up doing this against working on the cake and scarf for Neri, there was no way I could withstand her pleading. Eyeing her sidelong as she glares at the library shelves, I smile bitterly to myself for being such a pushover when it comes to her. Although it's discussed, I discussed it with Yaegaki-kun and Takasaki-kun. Shapeshifters aren't a particularly well-known phenomenon here in Japan. I think we're lucky to have found reference to them at all. We've managed to dig out 2 books, but neither contains much detailed information. Just the term itself and 2 or 3 sentences on their characteristics.
姿を変える以外で特に得られた情報はなかったわね。
Hey everyone! Hey Matsu-chan, hey Florimona, how are you doing? It's... I don't know if they will find answers in books, to be honest. Because if it's simply a term that's being picked up by students to refer to it, that doesn't necessarily mean that the book will explain what's actually happening. But yeah.
せめて弱点でも書いてあればよかったんだがね。例えば、銀のナイフが有効だとか。
That's a bit extreme. I strike an attack pose, and Nettie smiles as softly as the rays of the autumn sun.
ウエストサイドストーリーを思い出したわ。決闘の場面よ。
Hey Yuri, how's it going? It's not often she breaks out a movie reference.
ネリーも映画に詳しくなったね。白羽さんの影響かしら。あんなに楽しそうに話されていると見たくなってくるのよね。
I nod in understanding. There are plenty of old movies available in the AV room, but they've never been really popular with students. However,
この図書室もそうだが、スオ君のおかげか、どちらも活用する生徒らが増えているそうだよ。目にしただけでも嬉しくなる美人さんだものね。僕も今、目の保養をしているけどね。
I stare intently at Nettie, and she giggles. Not that I'm joking. I think that's joking.
せっかく譲り葉を誘ったのに無駄足になってしまったわね。ネリーと共に過ごせているんだ。僕にとって無駄足なんかじゃないよ。それとシフターについて一つ思いついたことがあるんだが。何？イズニクに付き合ってもらえないか？
The Council of Nicaea is a voluntary self-governing student organization at St. Angrecum Academy. The assembly hall where members meet is named after the area where the ancient Council of Nicaea was held, and is called Iznik. It started out as something of a nickname among the new first-year students, but now it's commonly used by everyone. Here in Iznik,
これで全部だ。それってかつてのニカイアの会の会長が記した年間、日記のようなものだよ。
Oh. Upon hearing the word diary, Nettie hesitantly places the tome she'd picked up back on the desk.
この中にニカイアの会が行った行事、そして記憶に残るような出来事が記されている。僕が言っている意味がわかるね。つまり七不思議で事件となったものがここに記されていると。そうだ。
She's still hesitating. Looks like she's hung up on the term diary.
本来会長だけが閲覧できるものだが、副会長だけの年では副会長も記している。ネリーが目にしても問題あるまい。そうかしら。年間は一冊じゃない。手伝ってもらわないと夕食に間に合わないよ。
She stares at the pile of books on the table for a moment before giving in. I bet she's genuinely curious to see what they contain.
それじゃ、ネリーは古いものから頼むよ。僕は新しいものからだ。
It's not like these things happen all the time.
思ったよりも早く終わったな。
Skimming through the almanacs, there were barely any entries relating to the 7 mysteries, so we've been able to get through all of them before sundown. I relay my findings to my friend as she opens up an almanac she's already finished with and scans the text again.
シェイプシフターについての記載もあったが、それほど詳しくは書かれていなかった。なぜ 自分と同じ姿で現れる怪異がシフターと呼ばれたかは謎のままだ。解決を見ないで謎のまま収束している。
Well, that's disappointing.
ええ、でも2点ほど発見があったわ。
それは？
一つはシェイプシフターは被服室だけでなく寄宿舎のシェイプシフターという名の通り寄宿舎の至るところで見かけられていたということ。
そういえば最近現れているシフターは被服室で目撃されることが多いな。
噂話が出た当初は他の場所でも見られたそうだけど、ここ最近は被服室にしか現れていないわ。だからそもそもの始まりは被服室なのかと思ったのだけど。
年間では特別被服室で多く目撃されたという記載はなかった。
That's unique to this rash of sightings. Strange.
それで残り一つは？
これはシェイプシフターのことではないけど、年間に書かれているペン字のこと。すべて緑色のインクで書かれているわ。
That's an interesting choice. I honestly hadn't noticed until she brought it up.
あ、そう言われればそうだ。お決まりなのかと思って僕も緑色のインクの万年筆を使っていたよ。
Ah, fountain pens. Hmm.
緑色のインクを使って文字を書くのは悪霊に消されないためのおまじないなの。最初にこのインクで記した会長は何を恐れていたのかしら。
Interesting. I had no idea that was a thing. I shudder at her words.
笑えないな。
The joke is too creepy for me to laugh it off. A while ago, when I'd been flipping through the very first almanac, I'd found that the page where the 7 mysteries first made their appearance had been torn down the middle. Oh no. I remember how, when I'd first laid eyes on that unnatural rip, a horrible shiver had run down my spine.
古い年間を紐解いていたんだ。目にしているだろうしな。
I sneak a look at her furrowed brow, wondering if I've inadvertently given her a bad experience.
ねえ、ゆずりはお願いがあるの。
OK だ。構わないよ。
まだ何を頼まれるかわからないでしょ。
She would do anything you ask her. It doesn't matter.
今日はとことんネリーに付き合うと決めているんだよ。
I smile sardonically, and she clasps her hands together in gratitude, then goes on to ask me for something far more outrageous than I'd expected. Ooh. Okay, what is it? Oh, they're not gonna tell us. Oh, no.
ありがとう。わがままを聞いてくれて。
Oh, they're gonna show us. Okay, that's even better. So she wanted to go to the textiles room at night? Is that it?
神かネリーのどちらかに頼まれたのなら、僕はネリーを選ぶよ。
Aww. Oh, the music. Ooh. We're in the dark, silent textiles room. My best friend had asked me to investigate the recent haunt of the shapeshifter in the dead of night.
マフラーの完成が遅れるな。
Oh. Preparing her present had already been a race against time, but there's no point in fighting a battle you can't win. If it's a request from Nettie, I'd have no choice but to forsake God himself.
冗談だろうけど、そういう物言いはダメよ。
はいはい、分かっていますよ。肝に銘じます。
Her brow wrinkles at my jokingly theatrical response, but it quickly smooths again as she surveys the gloomy interior of the room with sparkling eyes.
なかなかの雰囲気だ。
I guess so.
本当にそう。ねえ、ゆずりは、あのマネキン、今にも動き出しそうじゃない？
It's so funny how she's enjoying herself with all of the creepy stuff. It's an interesting contrast.
何が楽しいのか理解不能だな。
Here in this dark room in the dead of night, the prospect of encountering a monster or two doesn't seem at all unrealistic.
七不思議が起きているという先入観もあるのだろうが。
But the biggest factor is simply that I've always been a scaredy
シェ
cat.
イプシフターを目撃したという話では、この椅子に座って作業に没頭していたらという話が一番多いのよね。
Nettie is at her cutest when she's in her horror fan mode. I can see that. I can see that. As she speaks, she sits down on a chair in the center of the room and looks around. She's clearly looking for the creature. The girl's got balls, I'll say that much.
何かおかしいものは発見できたかい？
この位置から探ってみれば何かわかるかと思ったのだけど、鏡になるようなものはないわね。
完全にオカルトだけだと考えてはいないのか。
On the surface, she's acting in her role as vice president of the Council of Nicaea, with the interests of the other students at heart. But now that I know it's not all for show, I squelch my fear and squint into the corners of the room.
特に隠れる場所もないか。
隠れる場所って？
姿格好を真似て驚かせたという考え方もあるだろう。作業に没頭していたという前提はあるとはいえ、扉を開ければそれなりに音はするしね。
隠れて脅かす。この学院の生徒でそんな子がいるかしら。
深く悩まないでも3名はいるな。
3 names spring to mind without much trouble. Who are those? I'm thinking of the twins, but that's 2. Who's the third? What? I think of our 3 particularly boisterous underclassmen.
ごめんなさい。ゼロではないわね。
Chidori? Really? Really? I wouldn't have pictured her like that. She must have someone in mind too. So, no, I don't know. Like my mind didn't go there. I think Erika would, but like she has the complication of being in a wheelchair, so stealth is probably not a forte in that situation. Okay, she must have someone in mind too. More than a few students took it upon themselves to go out on little nighttime jaunts during the Hookman brouhaha in the summer.
隠れていて脅かすことも考えたが、姿を隠す場所はない。
On accident, yeah, okay. Then I can picture that.
本物の怪？
まだ早計だがね。とはいえ、調べるとしても。
I open one of the cupboards where the cloth is stored, but of course the space isn't big enough for a person to fit inside. Nettie also gets up from her seat and starts going around the room, opening a door here, peeking into a corner there. However, her investigation yields nothing. She stares out of the second floor window, seemingly deep in thought.
まさか、いたずら者が壁を登って脅かしに来たと考えているのではないだろうね。
Umineko flashbacks. Okay.
違うわ。ただ。
She's looking out at the rows of cherry trees behind the dormitory building. No, it's the sky that Neri's looking out at. With a smile, she suggests we step outside for a bit. Yeah, maybe the music can chill as well, because it's too much. Neri has invited me out behind the dorms. Okay, I'll take this music. Aw, cute. Oh, look at the night sky too. Oh, so cute. So that we can gaze up at the starry night sky together. Beatrice would already be making pranks. I was actually thinking of Erika scaling the walls and putting duct tape on the windows. That's the image that came to mind. It's her way of showing she cares. Oh, there we go. And thanking me for spending the entire day with her. I turn the phrase over in my mind. After she's asked me to stargaze with her, I'd prepared a thermos flask. I take it out now and pour 2 cups of steaming coffee. I watch Neri as she stares intently up at the stars. Her pale golden hair and pearly white skin, framed by the inky darkness, appear almost phosphorescent, lending her the appearance of an out-of-season firefly glowing in the night. Oh my god. These descriptions, my heart is overflowing with fuzziness. That's so cute. Oh, it's like her shining inner virtue is too great to be contained and is flowing out into the world around. I don't need the mystery of the stars. I'm entranced by Neri Nekomika. My heart.
ねえ、ゆずりは、見て、アンドロメダ座が見えるわ。
星には詳しくないんだ。どこだい？
私の指先をたどってみて。ペルセウス座の隣よ。
She points up in childlike excitement, the light of the stars dancing in her celadon eyes. As I stare into their dazzling depths, I'm warmed despite the chill night air. I affectionately remind her that the only constellation I know is Cassiopeia, as I hand her a steaming cup of coffee. She thanks me, wrapping both hands around the warm cup and pursing her pretty pink lips to blow on the scalding liquid.
とっておきの豆なんだ。味わってくれよ。
ゆずり葉ではないのだから、一気になんて飲めないわ。やけどしてしまう。
Neri followed my finger. Yuzu looks at Neri's finger. Yeah. Alternately blowing on the coffee like a child to cool it down, she takes small tentative sips. I take a mouthful of my own, my eyes never leaving her luscious lips. I knew I should have gone with tea instead. My taste buds aren't mature enough to appreciate such acidic, bitter notes. However,
おいしいわ。苦味が強くて濃厚な味わい。マンデリンかしら。
正解。コロンビアと間違えると思ったんだがね。
she smiles her winning smile at me and sips on her coffee like it's the most delicious thing she's ever tasted. Seeing that expression on her face wipes all my worries away.
カフェラテならまだ好きな部類なんだがね。
ん？
いや、コーヒーを飲みながら見る天体観測もおつなものだなとね。
ええ、秋の星空も見応えがあるでしょ。
As she turns her gaze up to the heavens again, I sneak a splash of milk into my own cup. There, much easier to drink now.
私、秋の夜空の星が好きなの。この季節は地味だって言われるけど、星座の物語に参加する役者が一同に関してまるで物語のようだわ。
そうなのか。僕はせいぜいさっき言ったカシオペア座、それとオリオン座、あとは冬の大三角形くらいしか覚えがないよ。
Neri nestles closer to me and extends a milky white finger to trace the shapes of the constellations across the velvety canvas of the sky.
さっき話したペルセウス座とアンドロメダ座。ギリシャ神話で彼女を助け出したのがペルセウスなの。物語を知っているとすごくドラマチックでしょ。
Her words vaguely remind me that I've seen the story in some movie somewhere. But right now, I've got more important things on my mind. With her so close to me, I find myself enveloped in her perfume. The sweet fragrance of lily of the valley. Losing myself in it, I forget that I'm sat outside in the dark and the cold.
ペガススの四辺形をたどるとすぐにわかるの。
ああ、そうだね。
I let her explanations wash over me as I savor her scent, more bittersweet than any coffee. Like Neri herself, it's a gentle, calming fragrance. The scent of my beloved Good Samaritan.
ねえ、ゆずりは？
なんだいネリ。
I feel like I've been awoken from a dream.
ゆずりはのコーヒーも飲んでみたいわ。
She's grinning innocently. She must know I added the milk. Smiling wryly at the fact that, yet again, I'm giving in to her, I hold my cup out.
ミルクを入れるとまた香りが変わるわね。
She draws in a deep breath, savoring the aroma. Then, without taking the cup from my hands, she leans in and sips delicately from it.
美味しいわ。
Cute.
そいつはよかった。
It's a meaningless moment between friends, shared 1,000 times before, and yet I never get used to it. Because she's...
隣人か。
ん？どうしたの、ゆずりは。
But as someone I respect once said, a good Samaritan is someone who can be there for others when they're hurting or suffering. The girl I love, Nerine Komikado, has always been there for me whenever I have struggled.
ゆずりは？
手が凍えそうだ。
I take hold of her soft hand. Unlike mine, it's toasty warm, enough to melt my frozen heart.
冷たい。温まるまでこうしていましょう。
ああ。ありがとう、ネリー。
With our fingers entwined, she strokes her thumb lightly over the palm of my hand. It's a gesture of friendly affection, like two dogs rubbing noses. Sorry. But I...
ずっと親友でいましょうね、ゆずりは。
It's both, somehow. It's a mixture of both. Because it is cute, but it stings at the same time. Her hand warms mine even as those words turn my insides back to ice.
ああ。ずっと一緒だ。
She leans against me and her soft golden hair brushes against my cheek. This warm feeling of contentment, the gentle fragrance tickling my nose.
七不思議も悪くない。
Because as much as I hate ghostly excursions, it's been another chance to affirm our unwavering friendship. A bird calls into the night. The warmth beside me makes me sleepy and I soon doze off. Cute. I'm so busy my head is spinning, but the daily grind still extracts its toll. Our day-to-day life rolls on regardless of the pressure I'm under. I work hard at my studies. I fight hard in my
ゆずりは
sports.
さん、グランフェッテの時どうしても状態がブレてしまうの。見てくださらないかしら。
ああ。構わないよ。
There are only a few days left until my best friend's birthday. Although I've worked things out so that I should just make it in time, I can't help freaking out. I feel you. I've always been both impatient and careful. The thought that I'm gonna end up having to pull something out of my ass on the day is a constant
どうか
worry.
しら。
あ、すまない。もう一度踊ってくれないか。
She wasn't paying attention. She probably thinks I just want to be sure, but the truth is, I wasn't paying attention the first time. The girl dances the move again, and this time I spot a few areas for improvement.
振り足のタイミングがやや遅くなっていること。それと顔が少しついていないね。その部分を鏡の前で観察しながら踊ってみるといい。
わかったわ。ありがとう、ゆずりはさん。
She flashes me a smile and returns to her practice. I stare after her for a moment
きちんと
until...
指導しているわね。偉いわ。
From behind, I hear the voice of the person who's currently causing me the most internal strife.
いつもクラスメイトの相談には真摯に対応しているじゃないか、ネリー。
そうかしら。以前相談してきた相手に腹筋の鍛え方を教えると、お部屋に伺おうとしていたのを知っているのよ。
え？
それは誤解だよ。腹筋を鍛えるのはフェッテだけじゃない。プリエもタンデュも全てにおいて必要だ。だろ？
それは同意だけど、女の子の部屋に上がり込んではダメよ。
When was this even on the table? I'm so confused, Neri, what the heck?
まずいな。
I stifle a smirk at the thought of all the time I've spent in Yagaki-kun's room recently.
その表情。
But of course, my friend doesn't miss its brief flicker.
ゆずりは？
こうなったら告白するけどね。シェイプシフター絡みで気になったことがあったから少し調べていたんだよ。
シフターを？
Her expression softens slightly. Just a little more.
その兼ね合いで 部屋に上がる必要もあったってことさ。不埒なものじゃない。
そう、ゆずりはもシェイプシフターを。
Two. Two is the keyword. Neri plays with the strand of her golden hair as she nods. What does she mean, two?
はい、それでは次の班です。フロアへ。
Sister Basket's voice cuts off my train of thought and delivers me from my predicament. No. Turns out it was a bit premature to think I'd been saved by the basket. Wait, by the basket? Saved by the basket? Is it like a pun on Saved by the Bell? I think that's what it's meant to be, because it sounds weird. Her interruption has gotten me out of my current bind. However, her next words only serve to add to my troubles. Oh no.
ハロウィンパーティーは中止にした方が良いかもしれないわね。
Eh? The soft rays of the morning sun stream gently into the room.
怪我人を出してまでパーティーを行うのは二階屋の会としても不本意だと思うの。
Sister Basket broaches the issue after calling me for a private word.
すみません、バスキア教諭。お話が見えないのですが。
She blinks at my confused response, then her cheeks flush as she realizes she's gotten ahead of herself.
ごめんなさい。急に言われてもわからないわよね。問題が起こったのは昨夜のことなの。
怪我人が？
She nods, looking distressed.
昨日被服室でハロウィンの衣装を制作している最中に怪我人が出たのよ。
The shadowy figure of the shapeshifter looms in my mind. The girl who disappeared in the spring.
どういうことです？
昨夜、被服室で怪我をし、気を失っていた生徒を寮長が保護したの。
Injured and unconscious. What kind of injury?
気を失っていた。
It sounds more serious than I'd thought.
寮長が生徒を保護した。ということは、見回りの際に被服室で倒れているのを発見したということですか？
それが。
Sister Basket looks down, internally debating whether or not she should answer my question. I wait for her to continue.
白羽さんが発見者だということは黙っていてほしいの。
Okay. So Shirahane's name leaves her lips.
スオ君が第一発見者だということですか？それはなぜ？
これは白羽さんと寮長の片場美さんの双方から聞いたお話なのだけど。
The music again.
消灯の時間を過ぎた頃、白羽さんは被服室に忘れ物をしたことを思い出したそうなの。明日の授業に使うものだったらしく、急いで被服室へ向かったのだけど。被服室に鍵がかかっていたそうなの。ええ、そう。いつもは鍵はかかっていない。だからおかしいなと思いながらも、鍵を開けてもらうために片場美寮長の部屋へと行き、寮長を伴い再び被服室へと。そして扉の前で何度かドアを叩き、中の生徒へと呼びかけたそうだわ。私もなぜかは聞いたわ。そしたら、被服室は内鍵をかけることができるわよね。だから、もしかしたら生徒が中にいるのかもと、はたと思いついたのだと話してくれたわ。閉ざされたドアへ呼びかけるも、何の反応もなかったため、片場美寮長に鍵を開けてもらい中へ。そこには生徒が倒れ、その傍らには裂かれたドレスがあったそうよ。まるで誰かに襲われたかのような情景に。慌てて駆け寄ると、倒れている生徒へ呼びかけるも答えがない。 怪我をしているのを確認した白羽さんたちは気絶したままの生徒を担ぎ養護室へと連れて行ったそうなの。
怪我の具合はどうなんです？
怪我自体はそれほどひどいものではなかったわ。立ちばさみで手を少し切った程度。でも
シェイプシフターを見たと。
Sister Basket nods fervently. After crossing herself, she continues.
その生徒、私のお気持ちの生徒なのですけど、彼女が言うにはハロウィンパーティーでの衣装制作が思うようにはかどらず、消灯が過ぎてもこっそり被服室を使っていたそうなの。規則を破っていることが後ろめたくて鍵を閉め作業していた。
そしてシェイプシフターを見た。
ええ、目の前に自分自身が佇んでいたそうよ。この学院にそんな邪悪なものが入り込む余地なんてないのに。
エルヴィスだって毎年世界中で見つかっている。
Yeah, I guess so. She looks up questioningly.
ありえないものというのはありえないから見てしまうものなのですよ。このことを他の生徒らには
話していないわ。片上寮長と白羽さんだけしか知らないはずよ。
そうですか。
I wonder whether she's sworn them to secrecy. Suokun and dorm mother Katabami are both discreet people, but since there's a victim involved, the story is sure to leak. People are always gonna talk.
このシェイプシフターは本物か偽物か。
If it's real, the simplest explanation would be that the rumors of the creature already had her scared, and the girl simply conjured the shapeshifter in her own mind.
私たちの年代にはまあまああることだ。だが
If it's a fake, I turn over the possibility of there being someone out there playing a prank. Sister Basket repeats her suggestion of canceling the Halloween party.
バスキア教諭、この件僕に預けてもらえませんか？
何か考えがあるのね。
ハロウィンパーティーは学院の規定行事ではない。ですが、2階屋の会主催で毎年続いている歴史ある行事です。途切れさせたくはない。
She gazes deeply into my eyes, and I catch a flicker of indecision in hers.
わかりました。少しの間だけ待ちましょう。会の長として判断に過ちがないように願います。
As I stare after her retreating figure, a Beatles song suddenly pops into my head. Day Tripper.
泡の夢か。
I'm starting to look back with rose-tinted glasses on my life of just days earlier, when all I had to fret over was my best friend's birthday.
感傷に浸っていても仕方がない。
All I can do is take action, so as not to simply drift away with the bubbles. Running my hand through my ponytail for the umpteenth time, I drop my gaze back down to the almanac.
ま、そんなに簡単には見つからないよな。
I don't have any more information now than I did when I investigated the textiles room previously.
基本鍵はかけてなく、外鍵は寮長が持っている。そして内鍵として室内からなら鍵がかけられる。これを踏まえると、
If we go by the theory that it was someone playing a prank, looking to scare the student while she was working,
作業中に脅かすため密室の中に侵入しなければならない。
locked rooms again. Dorm Mother Katabami has the key, meaning they can't have come in through the door. From where then? Outside?
被服室は2階だ。雨どいなどの足場になる箇所もない。
Could they have used the folding ladder? No, that wouldn't work either. There are the ladders they use to prune the trees, but they are locked away in the storage cabinet. They're inaccessible.
なら事前に潜んでいた。
But that doesn't seem possible either. When I'd been in the room previously, there weren't any places in which a person could conceivably hide away. Also, how could they have anticipated that the girl would come work on the thing, right? It's not like she had been doing it every night, because like when Yuzuriha and Neri went, there was nobody else there, so that seems incredibly inefficient if you were to do it that way. It seems too overly complicated. I don't think this is it. There has to be a simpler explanation. If they'd somehow known in advance that their victim, feeling guilty about breaking the rules, would be working with the lights off, and so had sought to blend into the darkness. Firstly, our prankster would need to know ahead of time that the student was going to turn off the light. They need to have had nerves of steel to have resolved to lie and wait in the dark for as long as it took. Thirdly and finally, there's the most perplexing hurdle of all. So what? They somehow brought a full-length mirror with them just for a silly scare prank? The thought alone is crazy. It's not like we don't have any mischievous students. It's that this goes way beyond the mere prank. It's not that I don't believe what Sister Basket told me, it's just that every retelling of a story is subjective. After hearing a voice on the other side of the door telling me to come in, I open it and step into the dorm mother's room. On my way back to the classroom after a brief trip to the ladies' room, I think back on my conversation with dorm mother Katabami last night. Although there were some slight differences between her perspective and Suokun's, a new version of the tale had brought no new revelations. Dorm mother Katabami's story began with Suokun coming by her room late at night. After hearing that she'd left something in the wardrobe room and that the door was now locked, she had accompanied Suokun back to the room in question. Upon arriving at their destination, Suokun had called out through the door. With no response forthcoming, she had told Suokun to stop and had unlocked the door herself. When they'd stepped into the room, they'd been confronted with the sight of the unconscious student. There is one thing that differs from my previous assumptions, and that is the state of the dress. When I'd heard from Sister Basket that there was a ripped dress beside the unconscious student, I'd imagined it as being completely shredded. However, when dorm mother Katabami had shown me the actual garment, the only damage to be found was one clean tear running straight down from the collar. For anyone with some sewing ability, including me, it looked perfectly repairable. It didn't seem like something the shapeshifter had destroyed out of spite. I shake my head. Then, spotting a familiar figure further down the corridor, I raise a hand and wave to them. Noticing me, the girl comes trotting over. Ichiko-kun rushes over to me like a delighted puppy, barely stopping short of throwing her arms around me. Her sunny presence lifts me out of my gloomy thoughts, and deducing from which floor she's on, I ask her if she's on her way to ballet class. I grin and she looks a little embarrassed. Guess she can be more of a girly girl than I thought. I consider my words for a moment. I reply as though she's alluding to the previous incident, but Ichiko-kun shakes her head cutely.
昨日手を怪我したって聞いたのですけど。
バスキア教諭は口止めしておくべきだった。
Gag order. I know that Ichigo-kun loves gossip and is always the first to hear about everything, but I feel a headache coming on at the knowledge that the word is already out on this.
うちのクラスの転入生の子、つわぶきさんが怪我をしたんです。ゆずりは先輩は聞いていませんか？
そっちのことか。もちろん聞いているよ。話が大きくなる前に
Hey,
調べてお
Javeliner.
こうと思っている次第さ。
Good to see you around as well. Hi, hi.
怪我もそうですけど、ドレスが破かれていたってこともまずいですよね。ハロウィン中止にとかならないですよね。
I tell her not to worry about that. Oh, so sorry.
ドレス？確かに被害者のつわぶきくんは衣装がないと制服での参加となるが。
It's strange to me that the ordinarily kind Ichigo-kun should be more concerned about the girl's dress than her injury.
確かにハロウィンの衣装がないと閉まらないが、なければなくとも構わないよ。この行事は学生が催しているものだから、そこまで厳粛ではない。
そうなんですか。よかった。もし衣装がなかったら参加できないってことだったら、つわぶきさんかわいそうですもんね。彼女は関係ないですけど、その相手の子がかわいそうっていうか。
The other girl? What does she mean by that?
破かれていたドレスはつわぶきさんのものではない。
はい、そうですよ。シフターが破いてしまったですけど、参加できないのはかわいそうですものね。
I'm so confused.
私としたことが固定観念だったな。
But wasn't the point that she was working on her own costume there? Why would there be someone else's dress? I don't understand anything. Okay. A torn dress found beside the unconscious girl. Of course, I'd assume it was the dress she had been working on.
こいつは一から考え直してみないとならないな。
先輩？
ありがとう、いちごくん。貴重な話を聞かせてもらったよ。
I pat her on the head, and her cheeks flush crimson as she looks up at me adoringly. Thanking my ever-dependable underclassmen one more time, I decide there's one more person whose side of the story I need to hear. Since I've finished up my preparations for tomorrow's long-awaited birthday, I decide to go get the opinion of our resident detective. I drop by her room straight after dinner.
紅茶しかなくてすみません。
I'm sure she loves that. She brings over the pot of fragrant amber liquid.
ありがとう、リッカさん。
And hands our Nancy Drew a steaming cup.
八代先輩はコーヒーの方が良かったですよね。
何？たまには紅茶もいいものだ。花火師くんの入れてくれる紅茶は格別だしね。これはアッサムだね。
ダージリンですよ。クッキーの作り置きもありますけど。
いただこう。
I take a bite of Hanabishi-kun's homemade almond cookie. It's nice and crunchy, and the sliced almonds perfectly complement the aromatic tea.
それで、スオさんに相談というのは、シフターというお化けの件なんですよね。
そうだ。花火師くんも聞いているようだね。
はい。級長としてクラスメートのことは知っておかなくてはなりませんから。
She glances nervously at Suo-kun. Guess I don't have to ask for her sources.
では、昨日のつわぶきくんが発見されるまでの流れは、ここにいるみんなは了承しているということだね。
They both nod. I take a sip of the Darjeeling. Or was it orange Pekoe? I don't really know how to read these, I'm so sorry. Then ask them for their thoughts on the incident.
どうとは？
被害者のつわぶきくんが言うように、シェイプシフターが起こした怪異かってことさ。まず、花火師くんの見解を聞こうか。
私は、お化けなんていないと考えています。
なら、誰かのいたずらだと？
いえ、そうではなくて、お化けはいないですけど、つわぶきさんには見えたというか。
なるほど。花火師君はエルビス派のようだ。
She gives me a blank look, which turns increasingly dubious as she fiddles with her braids.
八代先輩はどう思っているのですか？
She turns that question around on me.
被服室には鍵がかかっていた。そうだね。
はい。
中からはかけられるが、外からは鍵がなければかけられないタイプだ。だから状況を作るためにはつわぶきくんが気を失っていなければならない。
中からは鍵が開けられるからですね。
そうだ。養護教諭から聞いたが、つわぶきくんが自分自身を見、驚き倒れたおおよその時間とスオくんたちが駆けつけた時間、それらを考えると片場寮長の部屋から鍵を拝借して驚かして戻すと。
ならやっぱり彼女の目には。
まあまだ早計だがね。鍵などなくとも錠前開けが趣味の女生徒がいるのかもしれない。
I'd said it as a joke, but both Hanabishikun and Suokun's expressions remain earnest. To let them know I'm not serious, I go on to stress how unlikely it is that anyone of that sort should find themselves at a boarding school for modest young ladies.
それと状況が複雑化する要因がもう一つ加わった。聞かなかった僕が悪かったのだけど、破かれたドレスはつわぶきくんのものではないらしい。
そうなのですか？
Though Ichigo Sasaki had known about it, it seems that part isn't common knowledge. Or...
ええ、私も後から知りました。
No, Ichigo-kun wasn't mistaken. After I finished my summary of events, silence descends over the room. For a while, I just enjoyed the pleasant quiet and the invigorating aroma of the tea, sunk in thought. Then Sokun, who'd been sitting as still as a hibernating squirrel, as she listened intently to my story.
こう考えてはどうかしら。
I forgot to read the fact that she speaks. She speaks. Okay. She begins.
昨日のシェイプシフターの事件は事故だったのではないでしょうか。事故？どういう意味なの？シェイプシフター事件での犯人と言われる人物はいなかった。被害者が同時に加害者だと考えてはどうでしょうか。
I narrow my eyes, searching for the true meaning of my teacher's words. That would mean...
あのドレスは被害者であるつわぶきくんが誤って破いてしまったということかな。
I arrive at a conclusion.
つわぶきさんが？だって密室で彼女は気を失って倒れていたのでしょ？
Hanabishi-kun blinks confusedly, and Suo-kun explains to her that there's actually nothing meaningful about the room having been locked in this case.
密室を作る意味合いのほとんどがアリバイを作ることだわ。だけどこの場合の密室はそんな深い意味合いがあってのことじゃない。どういうこと？時間外の作業をするということの後ろめたい気持ちから被服室の内鍵をかけ作業していただけなの。
There was no intention of casting suspicion onto another student by locking the door. Hanabishi-kun nods, her braids swaying.
鍵をかけ衣装作りに没頭している際、シェイプシフター己の姿を見て驚き慌てふためいた。気が動転した彼女は立ちばさみで怪我をし、さらに狼狽した彼女は立てかけられたドレスをつかみ転んだ際に破ってしまった。
What do you make of that? She asks us.
すごいわ。確かにそれなら筋は通るわ。
なるほど。
If we acknowledge that she did in fact see a ghost, everything else falls into place.
八代先輩、つわぶきさんには会いましたか？
いや、実は話を聞きたくて何度か足を運んだが会えなかったよ。
きっとシェイプシフターを見たことのショックもあるのでしょうけど、クラスメートの衣装を事故とはいえ破ってしまったということで動揺しているのではないでしょうか。
Yeah, she's our brightest detective.
そうよね。私だったら合わせる顔がないわ。
She fiddles with her braids, her expression grave.
その破いてしまったこと仲直りできるように働きかけなくちゃいけないわね。
She nods decisively to herself.
八代先輩。
My teacher regards me questioningly.
ありがとう。バスキア教ゆえ、いい報告ができそうだよ。
It all makes sense, yet I still feel like something's not quite right. I take a sip of my now cold tea and close my eyes, trying to figure out what's off. I can't exactly describe it as a good situation.
だが、最悪ってほどまずい状況でもない。
I mutter to myself as I flick the light switch in the textiles room on and off.
昨日、スオ君が披露した推理。
It probably provides the best compromise. As an explanation to present to Sister Basket, who's recommended cancelling the Halloween party, it's neither good nor bad. It's neutral.
怪我を負ってしまった騒動は、兄弟心から自分の姿を見てしまい、慌てたせいで怪我をし、クラスメートのドレスを破ってしまった。事故ということで大ごとにはならず、ドレスに関しても旧友にも同様の言い訳が立つ。
Yeah, but there has to be something just a little bit more. This whole being able to see yourself, like it. I can't imagine it's just a hallucination in people's minds. There must be like at least some nugget of truth. Some sort of surface, some sort of a reflection created by something that, you know, in the moment you're actually not properly seeing it, so your mind fills in the details of it based on things that you've already heard, right? Because she has the whole myth in mind, or mystery, whatever we call it. I don't know. There has to be just a little bit more to that than just, oh, she just imagined it. However,
何かが引っかかる。
yeah, right? It's a coherent, logical explanation of events. So why do I still feel like something's not quite right? I advance into the room and sit down on the chair from which the shapeshifter is often said to be seen. I look around.
黒板、カーテン、マネキン、窓。
She says that she saw herself. If there's anywhere she could catch her own reflection, it would be in the window. Yeah, that's right. It's daytime, so the curtains are open, giving me a view out to the rows of cherry trees, bathed in the clean light of the morning sun, and the window of my own dorm room.
だがカーテンは閉め切られていた。
Meaning she couldn't have seen the shapeshifter in the glass.
もう一度ドレスを見せてもらいに行くかね。
If the source of my gut feeling that something's off isn't to be found in this room, then perhaps it lies in the ripped dress. Mannequins could be a clue, maybe they were dressed up in costumes. I mean, yeah, but the idea is that she saw herself, which I would assume she wasn't dressed in a costume, so why would she confuse a mannequin dressed in a costume with herself? Anyway, I don't know, I feel that there's also some details in the way that they're describing it that maybe I'm misinterpreting, or I'm not visualizing them in my head as they intend me to. I kind of have a struggle with that. Maybe I imagine things that the text is actually not saying. But yeah, I have no clue on this one. Just wait and see where it goes. I run a hand through my ponytail, then set off for dorm mother Katabami's room.
危なかったな。
My first trip to the dorm mother's room had been in vain, so I'd used my lunch break to try
あと
again.
もう少しで雑巾。いや、茶巾袋になっていたぞ。
Dorm Mother Katabami is the type of person who feels guilty about throwing anything away, so I'd figured she wouldn't have dumped the dress just yet, but...
危うくリサイクルされるところだったよ。
I've come to the aquarium to talk to the fish. I'd got there just in time to stop the dress from being repurposed and secured it as evidence. It's now sitting in my room. Gazing at the fish as they swim aimlessly around the tank, I try to calm myself and sort through the information I've gathered.
収穫は裂かれ方だ。
When I'd first heard what happened, I'd assumed the dress had been ripped to shreds. However, upon actually examining it, I found it torn on one straight line down from the collar. That would fit with Soken's theory that the girl had grabbed hold of it in a panic as she fell.
2度目の見聞で分かったことは、切り裂かれた襟に刃物。おそらく、ハサミで少しだけ裂いたところが見受けられた。まるで、ここから裂いてと言わんばかりの切り口のように。
I mentally shuffled through all the bits of information I've gathered so far. The shapeshifter of the dorms, the apparition that's been appearing in the textiles room, the student who sliced her palm on a pair of dressmaking shears, the ripped dress. A victim who's still too upset to leave her room.
今までの経験則から紐解くために必要な要素は、犯人の目星をつけること、ついで犯行方法、そして動機。動機？
I finally realize what's been nagging at me, the one thing I've completely overlooked. Moving closer to the aquarium, I stare at the plants wafting gently in the water as I scrutinize the possibilities that have come to me. I must have unthinkingly flipped the light switch because the light in the tank suddenly goes out and I see my own white face with its western features reflected weakly in the glass. Okay, this seems like a clue.
必要なピースが集まったな。
So it's time to unravel what we know, step by step. First, a girl injured her hand on a pair of dressmaking shears. The victim, Tsuabuki-kun, got into an accident, is lying to implicate someone, was attacked. I feel like it's likely an accident, but... let me see. Oh, is lying to implicate someone. Well, okay, it also says we should make a save. So, here we go. Wait, did I make it? No. Yeah. Okay, click. I misclicked. Is lying to implicate someone. That's right. Arranging the puzzle pieces like this, we can start to see the whole picture. Always gotta have a save. Yeah. Next up is the question of why the dress was ripped. Let's deduce the reason from the information we have so far. Why was the dress torn? Because she was startled by the shapeshifter. She ripped it out of spite at a love rival. She was angry she wouldn't be finished in time. Maybe the last one? If we are starting to speculate on her emotional state or something, I don't know. No, she ripped it out of spite at a love rival. Okay. Is there about to be some drama? I don't know. She ripped it out of spite at a love rival. How are we supposed to deduce all of this? We knew nothing about the girl other than the fact that she was late with her own costume. And so she was there late at night trying to work on it. But okay.
こんなところか。
I let out an internal sigh at the conclusion I've reached. Me, I see consistency as a virtue. They desire change.
今更ながら、ネリーの誕生日は今日なんだよな。
I'd been planning on waiting until classes were over to celebrate, and inviting her over to my room after dinner, but...
高校の憂いをなくすために先に済ますべきだな。
I'm betting a bunch of points that the crush involves Yuzu. Trying to listen to stream, but my dog can't stop snoring. Oh, oh. That sounds very cute. I hope your dog is having a really good rest. Although I've made up my mind internally, my expression reflected in the glass twists into a cynical smile in an obvious attempt to convince myself. In the gazebo under the clear autumn sky, a bell chimes.
それでは、コミカドネリネ先輩のお誕生日会を始めます。
Hanabishikun gets the party started.
お誕生日おめでとうございます。これは私としてのプレゼントです。私的には一押しのカエルの置物です。なんと、カエルさんが朝起こしてくれるんですよ。
That sounds cute.
ありがとう。今日は私のためにこんなに素敵な催しをしてくれて嬉しいわ。プレゼント大切にするわね。
She smiles as her fellow classmates and underclassmen hand her their gifts. What the heck?
サプライズパーティーを計画してたのか。
It looks like Hanabishikun is the organizer, but she hasn't given me a single role.
これプレゼントです。つまらないものですけど。
私のお花の押し花ね。しおりになっているのね。本好きの白羽さんらしいわ。
That's very nice.
よかったら使ってください。
Suokun's cheeks flush at Neri's gratitude. Marching over, I insert myself into the pretty picture.
僕だけがプレゼントを用意していない福心得物みたいじゃないか。
ごきげんよう、八代先輩。あれ？先輩、プレゼント持ってきてないんですか？
サプライズパーティーをすると聞いていたなら持ってきたよ。
話したらサプライズにならないでしょうに。
Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward situation.
僕にサプライズしてどうするんだ。おかげで。
あら、八重垣さん、高崎さんも来てくださったのね。
委員長に誘われましてね。
As she speaks, she hands over her own paper-wrapped package. What the hell? From the size and heft of it, it looks expensive.
私は合唱部ということで、デジタルのメトロノームです。リズム感のトレーニングに最適ですよ。
あら、初めて見るわ。デジタルでもメトロノームってあるのね。
私も使っています。予備ですみませんが、どうぞ。
八重垣さんも高崎さんもありがとう。こんなたくさんの人に祝われるなんて嬉しいわ。
コミカド先輩の人徳ってやつですよ。こんなにたくさんのプレゼントをもらえる人は学院にもそうはいない。ですよね、八代先輩。
振るな。
Ah, that's what I yell internally, but to my beaming best friend I say.
誕生日おめでとう、ネリー。
ありがとう、ゆずりは。今年も祝ってもらえたわね。
Eh? We don't get the translation for the other line? Nope. Something about this year. But I don't know what else she had said. I'd wanted to tell her when we were alone.
ああ、コミカド先輩こっちにいたんですね。今日は先輩が主役なんですから、ケーキを切り分けてくれないと。
Use your own advice, Yuzu. Make yourself the present. If you don't have a present, you can still give Neri a kiss. Aww. On the cheek, I guess. Otherwise, it would be a little bit out there.
その前にろうそくを吹き消す大仕事がありますですよ。
A very important undertaking.
あらあら、私のためにあんなに大きなケーキを。
But wasn't Yuzu also making her a cake?
りっちゃんさんが手がけた大作です。さあ、
Uh,
続いと。
that's very unfortunate. One of the twins takes her by each arm, sandwiching her between them. My own cake pales in comparison to Hanabishikan's impressive creation.
その茶化して悪かったですね。
Aww. It does look very cute.
すみません。性格が悪いだけで悪気はないんです。
She didn't mean to be mean. She's just a terrible person. Oh, Chidori, what are you saying? As I watch the other students, both our age and younger, who clearly adore Neri,
何構わないさ。
I say,
あの
her blue-green eyes regard me uneasily. I know that deep down, our cute little underclassman is actually a very nice, caring person.
計画とは違ってしまったが、ネリーが親友がこれほど慕われているのを見られたんだ。純粋に嬉しいよ。
Anywhere other than the cheek or hand can be done in public. It's not just necessarily about the public, but it's because Neri wouldn't want that, right? It's about her consent as well.
計画サプライズならまだ立て直しできますよ。
そうだな。ありがとう。その線で考えてみるよ。
I respond with my cynical smile. Her concerned expression finally morphs back into her usual disdainful one.
八代先輩はいい人だわ。
できるならもっと人が多いところで大声で褒めてほしいね。
My comment seems to reassure Takasaki-kun too. Neri blows out the candles in one breath to a resounding cheer. As I watch my friend's porcelain cheeks flush, I feel my chest grow warm.
コーヒーを持ってくるが、二人ともいるかい？
はい、いただきます。
私もそれじゃあアメリカーノで。
エスプレッソは置いてないよ。
Takasaki-kun asks me what the difference is, and Erika explains that an Americano is basically a watered-down espresso. With a sidelong glance at them, I make my way over to the drinks table.
どうぞ、ケーキです。
My teacher, who's handing out slices of cake, calls out to me. With an internal sigh, I veer away from my path to the coffee and head over to her instead.
スオ君、今日時間が取れるかな？
はい。
二人きりで話がしたい。
I whisper to her to come meet me at a specific place following dinner, then head back to the table to get my coffee. Okay, you're meeting with Suo after dinner. When are you giving Neri her present, though? Now I'm concerned. It wasn't an accident, I declare. Who was it that said the hour is darkest before the dawn? The twilight lobby is as silent as the grave, folding my words into its still embrace. The air is heavy with the cold tang of mid-autumn, and I feel a chill creeping up from the soles of my feet. She's standing beside the aquarium, but her eyes aren't focused on the brightly colored fish as they wend their way through the water, yet they aren't set on me either. They're trained down on the dim floor. Bowed like that, she looks as though she's lamenting the many troubles that plague her.
事故なんかじゃない。
She doesn't move from her position even when I repeat the words, nor does she ask me what I'm talking about. Suo Shirahane already knows.
被服室でのシェイプシフターの件だよ。あれは事故なんかじゃない。
Hey, Chitorin! How's it going?
私の推論が間違っていましたか？
いや、行動自体は間違いではないよ。一人きりで被服室で作業していたことも、被害者自身が鍵をかけ密室だったことも、そして友人のドレスを破ってしまったこともだ。
でしたら、
言っただろ？これは事故じゃない。
She falls silent. It's that blank stretch of time after dinner, when all the other students have returned to their rooms for prayers. The cold permeating my skin seems to freeze the air between us in the otherwise deserted lobby.
行動は変わらない。だが、僕はこれに動機を付け加えてみた。推理の基本だ。なぜ彼女を殺したのか。寄宿舎のシェイプシフターという七不思議が絡んでいたことから、 そいつは枠外へと捨て置かれていた。幽霊に動機なんてものはないってね。だが事故でない以上怪異はどかしておく。枠の外へポイだ。幽霊でないなら人が犯したことなのだからね。
シェイプシフターはいなかったと？
She's not asking about the existence of the creature. She's asking if I'm saying that Tsuwabuki-kun never saw the shapeshifter as she claimed.
ああ、ツオ君はシェイプシフター。己の姿を見て驚き慌てふためいたと言ったが、そもそもシフターは彼女の前には現れなかった。
If Fumineko had been written in the style of flowers, the small bombs would have been the official solution. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. I go on to clarify that she used the shapeshifter of the dorms to her advantage.
ツオ君も知っての通り、被服室には鏡はない。時間外の作業をするため、窓にはカーテンだ。だから、己を見ることなんて真似はできない。
臆病な気持ちから幻を見てしまうことはあります。
ああ、そういうこともあるだろうね。だが、彼女の場合は違った。なぜなら、そんな臆病な虫がうずくような心境じゃなかったからさ。
Her face clouds over at the word. It will reveal the reason she's covering for Tsuwabuki-kun. So is covering for her? What?
僕はこの件を調べるときに違和感を得たのは、そのものズバリ動機なんだよ。今回の件にはそいつが全くなかった。だが動機を加味すると途端に分かりやすく見えてくる。
I tell her how I'd met with dorm mother Katabami that morning to inspect the dress again, and that the way it was torn was suspicious.
ドレスは襟から一直線に裂かれていた。スオ君が言うようにバランスを崩して倒れ込む際、襟に手をかけたならだが切り口がなかったらだ。見聞した結果、破かれたドレスの襟にはハサミで破きやすいように切り込みが作られていたんだよ。
そうだったのですか。
She lets out a faint but heavy sigh in the face of the proof thrust before her. So Shirahane already knows the truth. She knows it all, but...
そう。誤って破かれたのではない。友人のドレスは、ツワブキ君が望んで破り裂いたものだったんだよ。
Soken had known Tsuwabuki-kun was the culprit all along, but she'd kept quiet. She's still staring down at her feet, not looking me in the face.
以前、興味深い話を聞いたことがあった。君のクラスに転入してきた子たちだ。その子たち、アミティエが三角関係になったと聞いているよ。
それは噂です。
火のないところに煙はなんとやらさ。残念ながら裏付けもできている。ツワブキ君はその三角関係とやらのアミティエの一人だそうだね。
Soken doesn't even nod. I know this is painful for her, but I can't stop now.
そしてここのところ、その三角関係が進展したようだ。
So?
で、調べてみると分かりやすいことに、破かれたドレスの持ち主というのは好きな相手を奪った。
She probably...
深夜の作業中、恋敵のドレスが目に入り、ツワブキ君の心には静かだが強い嫉妬の炎が生まれた。そしてハサミで切れ込みを入れ。
Maybe I'm projecting my past self onto Tsuwabuki-kun. Onto those 3 transfer students and their love triangle.
引き裂いた。
I go on to suggest that, since she hadn't gone in there with the intention of ripping the dress, she probably freaked out.
計画的でなく突発的だったはずだ。破くだけなら露見しにくい方法はいくらでもある。悩んでいたそこへ君が被服室へと訪れた。
Suo probably lied because she felt too empathic after her own experiences. Yeah, likely.
タイミングを考えればスオ君が片踏領長を伴い来た時に初めて気づいたのだろう。スオ、この時に室内のつわぶき君は自分の犯した過ちに気を取られドアノブのドに気づいていなかった。スオ君が初めて中へと呼びかけたのは領長を伴った時だったね。
はい、ただ鍵をかけているのではなく、内鍵で誰かが閉めているとその時思い立ちましたから。
ドアを叩き呼びかけた。この時ようやく己が追い詰められていることに気がついたつわぶきくんは被服室で頻繁に見かけられているシェイプシフターに罪をかぶせることを思いついたのさ。
I finally let out a breath after my long speech. Suoken lifts her beautiful eyes to look me in the face. Those crow-dark eyes filled with sorrow and resignation.
君は被服室に入ってすぐ気を失ったふりをしていたつわぶきくんの姿を見て狂言に気づいたのだね。
She nods.
そして誰も傷つかないように僕へ己の推論を語った。
She had intentionally misled me in Hanabishi-kun.
私はつわぶきさんに
Oh,
彼女たちに自分を見ていたのです。
sadness. She reveals the inner feelings I had vowed not to ask her about, and there's nothing I can say in response.
三角関係となったアミティエを私たちに、互いの気持ちが消化できなかったらつわぶきさんのように彼女もと。
It would be imprudent of me to make her say who's she talking about. Suoken stares at me imploringly. Then, with her glistening eyes still fixed on mine, she moves in closer to me.
だから八代先輩、どうか。
I'm captivating by those upturned eyes, her doll-like features, her slender frame, her gorgeous raven tresses, so black they blend into the darkness surrounding us.
報告はしなければならない。
八代先輩、
ハロウィンパーティーが催せなくなってしまう。二階への会の会長としてそれは避けなくてはならない。
そうですよね。
だが
I reach out and touch her beautiful silky hair, one of the many things about her I envy.
バスキア教諭への報告はスオー君が話した内容にしようと思う。
良いのですか？
もちろんまずいさ。だが真相を話せばバスキア教諭も黙っていることはできないだろう。スワブキ君たちは矢面に立たされることになる。
I play with the strands of hair between my fingers as Suoken continues to gaze at me.
生徒を守るのも二階への会の会長としての務めだ。もっともツワブキ君、そしてそのアミティアラには僕から釘を刺させてもらうがね。
The answer is always love.
ありがとうございます、八代先輩。
She wraps her arms around me and hugs me, and my pulse quickens. It's not like I'd come expecting this, but the hug from the most gorgeous girl in school is a welcome perk.
このままスオー君の抱き心地を堪能し続けたいが、そろそろ寮生らも部屋を出てくる頃合いだ。
I gently remove myself from her embrace. Her cheeks flush crimson. She's so cute.
僕はこの足でバスキア教諭へ報告に向かうよ。
よろしくお願いします。
ああ、この件が済めばシェイプシフターも現れにくくなるだろうからね。
完全にいなくなるのではないのですか？
僕の試験だが、被服室にシェイプシフターが出るとの噂が出たのは被服室での深夜作業から人を遠ざけたい者たちが流したものだと考えている。
I walk over to the aquarium.
シェイプシフターは寄宿舎のと付けられていただろう。本来寄宿舎ならどこにでも現れる怪異だ。始まりは被服室じゃなかった。
The fish gather curiously on the other side of the glass. They probably think I'm gonna feed them. Instead, I gently tap on the glass with my finger.
知っているかい？ 以前父から教わったのだけどね。
She seems wary of the sudden change in topic, but follows me over to gaze into the tank too.
眠るのですか？お魚が眠っているところを見たことがないです。
眠らせる際、電灯を消すのだそうだ。別に夜になったらすぐ消灯するわけじゃない。規則正しい時間に消してやるのが重要なのだ。
そうなのですか。
この熱帯魚も規則正しい時間に消灯している。片踏寮長が夜の見回りをする11時半ちょうど。
I press the switch as I speak.
水槽が鏡に早変わりだ。シェイプシフターの発端なんてこんなものだと思うのだけどね。
My face and Suokun's startled visage stand out in sharp relief in the glass. I flash her a sardonic smile via my reflection. The world is interesting because of all the things you go through in it, and meeting others is fun because of all the different people out there. I drop by Tsuabuki-kun's room and speak with her and her amitié partners. And I explain to Sister Basquiat that my investigation has concluded that the incident was simply a confluence of several unlucky coincidences. I inform her that the rumors of the shapeshifter being sighted in the textiles room were spread by students working there after lights out, and that with the strengthening of patrols and an admonishment during morning prayers, they'll soon fizzle out. I see. It looks like you can go ahead and hold your party then. With her acquiescence, the words of the cowardly lion in The Lost Princess of Oz come to my mind for some reason.
いろいろあるからこそこの世は面白いか。
People talk about vows made in storms and all that, but I hadn't felt like lying down and accepting the trials I've just been faced with. So why on earth are these words coming to me now? I wonder to myself as I make my way back to my room. Then the following words come.
いろんな連中がいるから他のやつと付き合うのが楽しいんだ。
Is that where the answer lies? I guess while I did meet with hardship, I also got to know some delightful acquaintances. I consider the many friends whose company I enjoy, and the equal number of people I'd rather not think of at all. Most of them are from my childhood. Their shadowy faces are turned towards me, still a timid and shy little girl.
やれやれだ。
The corners of my lips curl in a smirk. The autumnal gloom is causing me to confuse the past and the present. Arriving back at my room, I turn the doorknob. As I do so, it suddenly occurs to me that it should be locked, and an alarm bell goes off inside my head.
おかえりなさい、ゆずりは。
That voice is music to my ears. The cowardly lion was right.
付き合うのが楽しいか。
遅かったわね、ゆずりは。先に始めるところだったわよ。
Before I can ask her what she means, my gaze lands on the birthday cake on the table and I understand.
サプライズで驚かそうと思っていたんだけどね。
残念だけど、それは無理よ。
What? Why?
ゆずりはが私の誕生日を祝ってくれないなんてことないでしょ？
Her tone is playful, and I have to concede that she's right. She pours a cup of coffee from the pot she's brought with her and hands it to me.
いい香りだ。
私の秘蔵の豆なのよ。飲んでみて。
After savoring the scent for a moment, I take a sip and let the liquid dance over my taste buds. The citric acidity stirs my sluggish mind.
ランメサだ。そうだろ？
Nettie nods as she drinks her own coffee. Then,
ゆずりはが作ってくれたバースデーケーキいただくわね。
Nettie's like, I really needed more cake, okay? Never enough cake. She cuts herself a slice of my failure of a cake and takes a bite. I watch her smile around it.
おいしいわ。腕を上げたわね。
She hasn't improved at putting herself down though. She keeps calling it a failure of a cake. My chest floods with warmth at her compliment. She called it delicious.
そうかな。まだ人前に出せるほど上手ではないと思っていたんだが。
そんなことないわ。とても美味しい。
いや、でも
ダメよ。いくら譲り派でも譲り派への侮辱は許さないわ。大好きな友達が卑下するのは嫌よ。
ああ、そうだ。
I know she's only kidding, but even so, the sentiment makes me feel all warm inside. Fighting back at the hot prickle behind my eyes, I walk over to my desk and get out the present I'd prepared.
もしかして。
もしかしてだ。プレゼントだよ。おめでとう。
Her eyes sparkle as I hand her the wrapped present. She asks me if it's okay to open it and I nod.
マフラーじゃない。もしかしてこれ譲り派の手作り？
She's so happy. That's so cute. There's something special about it because of all the effort Nerdy knows went behind it. Yes. Yes, that is true. That is the most important ingredient. Love and care and putting in the effort. A genuine one. That will always matter more than whatever little faults you believe the final result has.
素人っぽさが味だろ？
最高に嬉しいわ。ありがとう。
She rubs the wool against her cheek to feel how soft it is, then asks me if she should try it on. Obviously, I'm not gonna say no.
暖かい。冬が来るのが待ち遠しいわ。
そこまで喜んでもらえて嬉しいよ。
嬉しくないわけないじゃない。ありがとう、譲り派。
With the scarf wrapped around her neck, she gives me a twirl. It's okay, it's okay. Her honey-colored hair flares out around her, and her silly antics send another rush of heat through my breast.
ネリー。
She flings her arms around me in an innocent hug. The feel of the soft, warm body makes, of her soft, warm body makes my heart ache.
あなたは無二の親友よ。
Pious as a nun, as usual. Her words only push the knife in deeper. I remember that phrase again, Good Samaritan.
子供の頃から。
My Good Samaritan has always been Neri Komikado. She's supported me constantly, weakling that I am. Yeah, that's how it's always been. But
子供の頃を思い出すよ。
小さい頃は譲り派が私に泣いて抱きついてきたんじゃない。
as I look down into her carefree smile, I want to tell her.
君が抱いている親友に向ける真っ当な愛情とは違う。
Aye, I'm so sorry.
愛情を抱いているんだ。
Okay. Yes. Yes,
好きだよ、ネリー。
I've never had a sliver of feelings for a boy. I've always loved you. In response to this confession from little old lesbian me,
私もよ、譲り派。
this has to sting the most when the meaning behind your I love yous don't match. Aww. There in that warm, cozy room, this pure expression of love from my best friend shatters me to pieces. Oh, the pain. Halloween stuff. Oh, that looks cool. October 31st. Oh, hello.
まずかな。
Oh, we have the canines as well. Oh my god. She looks great. Oh, I'm sorry, is it maybe some of my settings that make the emotes not work? Or I don't know, because I don't... Wait. Yeah, I don't see them. I stand before the mirror in my costume and look over my reflection one last time. It fits well and the stitching is all intact. It makes my spirit soar to see my own design brought to life, transposed from the page into reality as a fully wearable creation. Yeah. That is a really great feeling. I concur.
本当は女の子らしい服装の方がいいのだが
Describing myself as an androgynous beauty would be going a bit far, but I've definitely been pigeonholed even by myself.
いや男装以外でも案外似合うだろう似合うじゃない
Anything would look great on you. My active imagination conjures an image of me in the epitome of girly clothing. A princess dress. Ooh, I would love to see that. Swathed in pure white fabric.
ネリー
I guess being in the princess's shoes is too much for me, as the princess in my fantasies morphs instead into my ideal woman, Nerine Komikad, the woman I love.
気の迷いだ
On her birthday, I told my best friend that I loved her, despite my always having believed that staying the same is a virtue. No.
卑怯なやり方だった
I disguised my confession as an affirmation of our platonic friendship. How stupid.
好きになってくれることなんてないのにね
I fell in love for the first time as a young child. It was one of the female staff at my kindergarten. It happens a lot at that age, when the boundaries between the sexes are as yet unclear, and there was nothing stopping me from voicing my feelings. Then, the next time I felt the stirrings of a crush, it was the school nurse in elementary school. I was a sickly child, so I spent a lot of time in the nurse's room. She rocks the Dracula costume, she looks amazing. So I never thought it strange that I should fall for the teacher who took such good care of me. However,
どうぞ
衣装似合っているわね、ゆずりは。
oh, what is she wearing? Oh, what does she look like? Oh gosh. My thoughts scatter at the sound of her voice and the stunning sight of her.
パーティー会場が開く前に最後の準備をしに行きましょう。
The Halloween party is doubling with dinner. As she said, we should really go put the finishing touches to it, but
どうしたの、ゆずりは。
take a moment to bask in the glory of that. Yeah, she looks super cool.
いや美しすぎて見とれてしまったんだよ
And together, it's an even better view. Oh.
ありがとう。
She twirls on the spot, the skirt of her dress billowing around her. Yeah, I know, right? The white of the dress is perfectly complemented by her honey-colored hair, and even the bloodstains marring it somehow don't look out of place. As I gaze at the beautiful girl before me, I wonder if it wasn't after all inevitable that I'd go gay.
ダメだなあの日のことを引きずりすぎだ
I put on the mask of President of the Council of Nicaea, of Yuzuriha Yatsushiro.
私が勧めたマントはどう？
ああいい具合だよ裏地が赤なのが実に映えるほらドラキュラ伯爵も白夜だろ
I swished cape and she smiles her agreement. Holding up the hem of her dress, she curtsies like a proper lady.
私も王妃に見えるかしら。
いや残念ながら見えないね王妃でなく姫に見えるよ
Oh.
僕たちはまだそう年を取ってはいまい
そうね。
She puts her hand to her mouth to hide her giggle. With a flourish of my cape, I bow respectfully to the beautiful princess before me.
会場へエスコートする名誉を与えてくれませんか、お姫様。
Yuzuriha's hair is crazy long. Yeah, I can see that.
ええ、お願いするわ。
I don't think any other character can compete with that. I take her by the hand and lead her to the venue of the Halloween party. Kihi? Hearing the familiar voices behind me, I slowly turn around. There, behind me, stand the Sasaki sisters, dressed in costumes reminiscent of Alice in Wonderland. They look up at me impishly. Aww. This is cute, and at the same time, we don't see their moles. But somehow you can still tell that this is Ichigo and this is Ringo. That's very cute. That's very interesting. Her hair grows another inch every time she experiences heartbreak. Oh no. Hang on, let's back up a bit. After finishing up the final arrangements, I had declared the Halloween party open. Immediately following my announcement, the gathered students had crowded around me, showering my outfit with compliments. So cute, so pretty, amazing. I'd responded to all of them with praise and kind until I finally wormed my way out, and now...
こいつは困ったな。まだお菓子は用意していないんだ。
Hearing my friends' voices, I feel my load lighten slightly. That we can still tell the twins apart shows how well we've gotten to know them, I think. Yeah. It's like, it's no longer about the way they have their hair or the little moles on their cheeks. It's about their demeanor. So you can like already tell, like there's details in the way their eyes are drawn, for instance. Like Ichigo's are a little bit more, like the corners are sharpened and going upwards a bit more than Ringo's. Like the corners of her eyes kind of droop down a little bit compared to Ichigo's. And the way they position their hands, and it's just like a general it's just like little details like that that together compose the demeanor of the character, and you can tell instantly who's who. Very cute.
だったらいたずらの方ですね。
The little monkeys waited until they knew I'd have to choose trick. A wordless signal passes between them, and they start to advance on me. However, I've learned from my previous year's experience. Ringo always looks lethargic. Yeah, a little bit. It goes really well with her voice, right? Her voice, it's kind of like an extension of that kind of just general aura, I guess, that she has. I spread my arms wide, inviting them to do as they will. So the trick is to hug her? Is that a trick? The two of them abruptly halt, seeming reluctant now. I guess that's true, that's true. Don't boast about being able to distinguish the twins, you might regret it later. Ah, okay, well, I guess we'll see what that's happened. It's just, in this particular instance, the moment I saw them, I realized, okay, it's very clear who's who. It's something I've learned from past experience. That being said, if I were in their shoes, I'd take it as clearance to grope at will. Oh god, what am I reading?
いちごくんとりんごくんの衣装は何なのかね？不思議の国のアリスかい？
They look more like the twins from that horror movie. I've never... Is it The Shining? I've never seen it actually, I've just seen images of it. I drop my arms before things get awkward and question them. They turn the question back on me, puffing their chest out proudly as they ask me to guess. Oh, sorry. Voice. Sorry, what am I doing?
その言い方ではアリスではないようだね。
It is the Shining. Okay. Yuzu played the Uno reverse. Yeah. Yeah, she played it really well there. A memory from the past suddenly rushes back and I feel a sharp stab of pain in my chest.
オズの魔法使いのドロシ
違いますよ。金の靴は履いていないでしょ。
She flips a heel up coquettishly so I can see.
この衣装は映画シャイニングの双子から
There it is.
可愛いでしょ。
We based it on the creepy twins, aren't we cute? Oh god. Yeah. Indeed, that's pretty much how it went, Yuri. She twirls around boisterously.
なるほど、シャイニングか。作品を知っていたのに気づかないとは残念。だが、こうやって見ると。
I haven't seen it, but I did make the connection. I look between Ichigo-kun, who's wearing a bright and innocent smile, and Ringo-kun, who's standing with her hands clasped bashfully behind her.
同じ衣装でも、受ける印象は随分と違うね。
そうなのですか。頑張って同じデザインにしたのに。
リンゴくんの衣装は実に清楚に思える。水色がベースの配色に白いフリル。はじめに不思議の国のアリスを思い浮かべたようにね。
照れますね。それじゃ私的には
Pretty much that, Chidori, yes.
いちごくんは同じデザインでも、例えるなら嵐ヶ丘のキャサリンだ。幼少期のね。
あんまり褒められているような気がしないんですけど。
I regard her affectionately as she folds her arms in a sulk. When I look at Ichigo-kun, I'm reminded of Neri when she was younger. The cheerful and innocent girl I idolized. The complete opposite of me.
孔子の逸話だよ。
Hello, Erika. My thoughts are interrupted, these words accompanied by the high-pitched bat-like squeak of a wheelchair.
孔子の逸話。
Oh, look at her! Oh, look at her! She's so cool! Oh, that fits her so well. Oh. The twins tilt their head in confusion as Yaigaki-kun repeats herself. She readjusts her hat. I'm guessing she's a witch. And continues.
孔子の論説の中にあるのさ。二人の皇帝が同じ質問をして、孔子はそれぞれ違う答えを皇帝に説いた。で、お月の従者が同じ問いになぜ異なることをおっしゃるのかって尋ねると、一人は慌て者だから慎重に行動するように、もう一人は逆に慎重すぎるから大胆になれと答えたのだってね。
それって
欲しい言葉は人それぞれってことだが、八代先輩はお前たちには服じゃ隠せない個性があるって伝えたかったんだろうよ。
She lifts the brim of her hat to smirk up at me in her feline manner, and I confirm her assessment.
そうか。褒められているならいいけど、でもやっぱり感想だって一緒の方が良かったな。ねえリンゴ。
I'm curious about Ringo-kun's somewhat unsure expression. What was that about?
八代先輩の格好はプラド3世の衣装ですよね。
ああ、なかなか様になっているだろう。
Since Erika loves food, does that fact make her a sandwich? Oh, that's very good. sandwich. Oh gosh.
ブラド？吸血鬼の衣装だよね。
ブラド・ツェペシュ、通称串刺し子。吸血鬼ドラキュラ伯爵のモデルになった人物だよ。
I am impressed by the very good pronunciation of Vlad Tepes. Nice, Erika.
へえ、かっこいいですね。
One thing my country is known all over the world for. I spread my cape for them, showing off the blood red velvet lining. I love the way my silvery hair looks against it. Ah, good one. Ay. There are 3 cases converge on me in admiration. I'm basking in the pride of having been complimented on my sewing, a feminine skill. I'm basking. Basking.
なんだ？
The admiration in their eyes turns to suspicion, which gradually contorts into fear. Then I realize that their gazes are no longer directed at my cloak, but at something behind me.
どうしたんだ？まるで本物の幽霊でも見て。
I turn around to see.
ごきげんよ
I did not expect this. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was in the Victorian child in a coma. There was just so much gory detail, and it was all zoomed in on her face. Oh god, Hanabishikan the zombie maid, who had been off helping with the cooking club's offerings, appears before us. The 8th mystery is born, yeah. Oh, is everything okay with the stream? My Twitch is just like on loading mode. Did that scare off the stream? Hi. Okay. It seems to be fine now. Oh, good. Yeah. It seems I had some dropped frames, and my OBS was showing a few red lines, but I hope everything is okay. All right.
八代先輩、コミカド先輩、お待たせしました。
What are these like details on her face? Like, what the heck? That's crazy. It is laggy. Okay. My PC doesn't seem to be doing so great. You see the text, but everything else is black? Okay. I am not sure what to say. It all looks fine now. More visual gore and flowers than in Umineko somehow. One thing that I can suspect is that I just got a notification from Steam in the corner of my screen that one of my friends is playing some game, you know how Steam does that. And Steam's, I don't know what it is about it lately, but it seems to be lagging my stream a lot whenever it does stuff. So it might have been that. Might have been that. A witch did it. Looks pathetic. Yeah, it's alright. It's alright. Let's try to continue this. Okay. Wow, this really like... What the heck?
いただくよ。
She goes around the table pouring tea for everyone. Oh no. Obi is disconnected.